India on the Eve of Crown Government by Baba Sahib Ambedkar. Part 1. More than anything else in the world, imperialism stands in greater need of defense, and imperialists have not been wanting in their duty. Unlike the Greeks, who did not have even a word for imperialism nor knew the idea of the federation of city states, the Romans were the world's first and greatest imperial people, and they coined a justification for imperialism that became the heritage of their successor. They proclaimed that they were a people of superior race, with a culture too high to be compared with any other, that they had a better system of administration, that they were versed in the arts of life. They also proclaimed that the rest of the people were of the inferior race, with a very low culture, and were absolutely devoid of the arts of life, and that their administration was very despotic. As a logical consequence of this, the Romans argued that it was their divine mission to civilize their low lying brethren, nay, to conquer them and superimpose their culture in the name of humanity. The British have justified their imperial policy in India by similar argumentation. The British historian of India have a kind of Deus Pospeliana, disease of admiration. Their optical vision somehow or other has magnified the vices, not the virtues of the predecessors of the British in India. Not only have they been found loud in their denunciation of the Mughal and the Maratha rulers as despots or brigands, they cast slur on the morale of the entire population and their civilization. This is but natural, for individuals as well as states can raise themselves only by lowering the merits of others. Historians of British India have often committed the fallacy of comparing the rule of the British with other immediate or remote predecessors, in deference to historical methodology. They ought to compare the rulers of India with the contemporaries in England. Much of historical error will vanish if we closely follow this path. It would no longer be a matter of contemptuous pity to read perhaps the abject condition of the Hindus under the conquest of the Mohammedans when we will remember the pitiful condition of the Anglo Saxons under their Norman conquerors when to be called an Englishman was to be considered as a reproach, when those who were appointed to administer justice were the fountains of all iniquity, when magistrates whose duty it was to pronounce righteous judgments were the most cruel of all tyrants, and the great plunderers than common thieves and robbers. When the great men were inflamed with such a rage of money that they had cared not by what means it was acquired, when the licentiousness was so great that the Princess of Scotland found it necessary to wear a religious habit in order to preserve her person from violation. The end.